From the Classic 107 studios in downtown Winnipeg, 107 Live for Birchwood Jaguar, the art of performance.
And so this morning, surprise, surprise, I was told we had a duo coming in this morning, but here he is on his own. We've got from the Maples Collegiate, his name is Dean, and he plays a lot of different styles of music, a lot of different instruments. He was part of the Manitoba Band Association Optimist Festival. He wrote a solo piece that he performed just the other day. We'll chat with him a little bit about that. Let me say good morning first. Good morning, Dean.
Hey, good morning.
Welcome to Classic 107. First time here, correct?
Yeah.
First time here. Okay, well, I'm glad to have you here. So we're going to chat for a few minutes, but before we do that, you're going to play us a solo bass work. This is awesome. I've never had a solo bass in the studio before. I've had every other instrument I can think of, but never solo bass and electric bass. So I'm kind of excited about this. So what are you going to play for us?
I haven't really named it, but it's a piece I wrote for the Winnipeg Solo Ensemble Festival. It's a fretless bass piece. It's kind of influenced off a bassist named Michael Mannering, and that's about it.
Okay. Without further ado, let's have a listen. Solo bass. Here's
Right,
Dean.
thanks.
And your last name?
Vlahos.
Dean Vlahos. Here we have Dean Vlahos from Maples Collegiate. Bass player Dean Vlahos, grade 11 student at Maples Collegiate. He's in because we've been chatting all week about the Manitoba Band Association's Optimist Festival, and he was part of that festival with the what was you wrote that as a solo piece, correct?
Yeah, I wrote that for the Solo and Ensemble Festival.
So when did you perform that?
I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
3 or 4 weeks ago already. Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
It's quite a while back.
And so electric bass, tell me how that fits into the band festival. Was it something you wrote as part of a band originally, or do you play in part of a band? Or
Well, the teachers had asked me if I wanted to, go do a feature for my instrument, and it was really open to anything. Like you'd go, there was adjudicators, and what you would do is you would play a piece, and they would, tell you how you did, what they think you could improve. They'd show you what steps to take next. And for me, I had the option of going and learning a piece or writing something on my own. And I ended up writing something because I feel as though, with something that's pre-written, you're kind of limited. And on top of that, bass is kind of just a backing track instrument. So I was trying to find something that would show off, the higher ends of the bass, give off a melody, something a little more show-offy, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. So you play with the wind band as well?
I play with concert band.
Concert band, yeah.
Mainly I play with jazz bands, but at school I play upright bass with the Maples Collegiate Wind Ensemble.
Upright bass?
Yeah.
Cool. And with the jazz, you play electric bass and upright bass as well?
Yeah, I switch back and forth depending on the style of music.
Mm-hmm. So do you play any other instruments? Do you play wind instruments, or do you play...
In concert band, I started off playing the tuba.
Tuba,
and
okay. With another bass instrument.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But this year, we had some trombone players in our concert band actually drop out, so they had asked me if I wanted to learn trombone, so I jumped on board. So for concert band, I jump back and forth between tuba and trombone. For jazz, I play a lot of guitar at home, jazz, a lot of bass at home.
Mm-hmm.
I play my, guitar, piano, stuff like that. Just kind of like to make my way around all the instruments, but mainly I'm a bass guitar player.
Mm-hmm. So when did you first start playing music? Did you start with a string instrument, or did you start with piano? Or
when I first started playing, I was a guitar player. I started when I was about 7 years old, and I was taking guitar lessons at Tauber Music with my teacher Chris. And from there, for a couple of years, I stuck with guitar, and then with school, they actually didn't have a bass player, so they had asked me if I wanted to, and I was the only one willing. And in the end, it turned out, the more I played bass, the more I think I felt it more than I felt guitar, so I ended up sticking with it.
Mm-hmm. So what is it about the bass that you feel?
With guitar, it's a lot of fun because, you can play all the solos and all the flashy chords, and you have that upfront just effect on everyone. But I feel like when you're playing the bass, you have this kind of unspoken groove that, although you don't really hear it, you kind of feel it. So I play a lot of jazz, and when you're listening to jazz, you get those walking bass lines and stuff, and it's not something you really hear up front, but when you're listening for it, you kind of realize that that's the reason you're moving along. And when you're playing something like that, it's just kind of infectious and just makes you want to dance around and move, and it's a ton of fun.
Well, it's the rhythm. It's what holds everything together,
yeah.
right? I mean, it's the rhythm, and it doesn't get a lot of accolades necessarily, because it's it's kind of behind the fancy, flashy guitar and
Yeah.
the fancy singer and stuff like that. But it's the bedrock of it's the foundation of jazz, of
yeah.
blues, of rock as well, huh?
You don't get as much recognition for it, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel I feel like it's this. It's like an old saying that I really live by. It's I forget exactly how it's worded, but it's along the lines of, if a bass player is doing his job, you won't even know he's doing anything at all. Mm-hmm. And so when you find something where you just have this reason to move, that's just the bass going in the background, and it's really empty without it.
Mm-hmm.
So even without the recognition, it's just a fun instrument to play and listen to.
So give me an idea of what are your musical influences. I saw you're wearing a Billy Talent hat. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
part of that kind of music,
So, outside of school and all the stuff I play, I like to listen to a lot of rock and stuff. That's my favorite. Rock, punk, anything a little heavier. But I listen to a lot of acoustic also, some classical stuff. I listen to a lot of jazz because I play a lot of jazz. Mm-hmm. Favorite to play is jazz. It's so much fun. I have a lot of influences, really. A lot of rock bands like Billy Talent, Green Day, Imagine Dragons. There's some solo artists, like one of my favorite bassists, Victor Wooten. I draw kind of inspiration from all genres, and I try to incorporate it with how I play.
Cool. And you're in grade 11 now, so you got one more year before you graduate.
Yeah.
What are the plans?
The hope after high school is to go into university, and as it stands, I'm planning to go to Brandon, and I'm hoping to get a degree in teaching and performance for jazz bass as a major. So I want to be able to, pursue this as a career, teach others, inspire other people. That's the long run.
Mm-hmm. So, and you mentioned off the air, we were chatting a little bit beforehand, your teacher is Brian Zimmerman.
Yeah.
At Maples Collegiate. And I was saying that I grew up with Brian. That's so weird. I haven't thought about the guy in a long, long time. You mentioned his name, and I had to Google him to get just the same Brian Zimmerman I'm thinking of. So if he's listening, a shout out to Brian Zimmerman. So that's kind of cool. And so if you could think of one of your dream gigs, what would your dream gig be? I'm putting you on the spot here.
It's a really tough one. I mean, last night I was at the Billy Talent concert, and
they played in town last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. They've been my favorite band for a long time, and it's one of those things where every time I go and see a band, like at the MTS Center, it's just, picturing standing up on this stage in front of hundreds or thousands of people, just, spreading a message through the music you play and just like inspiring others, making other people dance along, sing along. So dream gig, some people would want this really big stage out in like New York or something, but I think I'd want to keep it local. I'd want to keep it with like the people I grew up with, family, friends, and a whole bunch of people who just appreciate music for what it is, and just play for a crowd.
For a rock band, do you think?
Anything really.
Anything?
I play a lot of solo acoustic stuff with guitar. Like I'll sing a lot, play. With jazz, I play a lot of bass. Same with my friends. We have our own band. I'll play bass with them. It's just, basically, I just want to be able to play music,
Great.
It's pretty vague, but...
Well, it's what you do, right? I mean, it's what's in your heart. It's your passion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, again, it's been a pleasure to have you. You maybe just play us a few more riffs. Play us a nice walking bass line.
Oh, okay.
Let's have a listen.
I got to tune my bass up 1 sec.
Okay, I'm in the studio with Dean Vlahos. He is from Maples Collegiate. Are you going to be playing in the jazz ensembles by any chance? With Maples coming up for the Manitoba Band thing?
Yeah. With I'm playing in a few of the jazz bands for.
A few of the jazz bands?
For Maples, yeah.
Okay, let's give us a little bass riff and then.
Just do like a, basic walking bass line, I suppose. So it's like a.
All right. Put you on the spot. Thanks very much, Dean.
That's all right.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Best of luck in your rest of your school and then the university after that. And I'll look forward to seeing you on the stage at MTS at some point.
Awesome.
107 Live is Classic 107's intimate concert series, brought to you by Birchwood Jaguar, the art of performance.